So iOS 27 has officially dropped in last month, and I have been using the developer beta versions ever since. So in this video, I will be ranking the top 5 features that iOS 27 has to offer based on the ones that I like, all the way up to the ones that I absolutely love. And this is purely based on the impact each of these upgrades have made to the overall Apple user experience. Now, there is a whole lot of other upgrades that Apple has packed into the iOS 27 upgrade that I usually don't use in my day-to-day life. So those upgrades don't make the cut. If you're thinking about updating your iOS versions, stick around and watch this video because some of these upgrades might prompt you to make that change. So without further delay, let's get into it. Kicking off the list at number 5 is something that I have genuinely waited years for. It is the separate volume slider for your alarm and your ringtone. In the past, these two shared the exact same volume slider. A max volume ringtone meant your alarm went off like a bomb at 6 a.m. And that's not what you want. In iOS 27, you can finally jump into settings and set those two levels completely independently. Head to settings, then sound and haptics, crank your alarm volume up high, and keep your ringtone wherever you feel comfortable. Set it once and forget about it. The only thing that I still find irritating is that this setting is buried deep into your settings menu. Usually with an Android phone, you can access these sliders with your volume up down button, but for whatever reason, Apple has to make it complicated. And if you want to access this, you have to go into your settings and find this slider. Alright, before we move on, if you're liking the iOS 27 breakdown video so far, please do hit the like button, subscribe, and put your comments in the comment section. Anything from criticisms to things you like, things that I can improve on, because engaging with this channel really motivates me to create more videos. And yeah, just do your thing, and it really helps the channel out. It really helps me out as well. Thank you. Alright, coming in at number 4 is the much improved and smarter Calendars app, and currently I am considering using it more than my Google Calendars app because of the way it integrates so well with your Apple apps and your whole Apple ecosystem. When you create an event, say a catch up with a friend at a cafe, the Calendar app now pulls in all the useful bits automatically. It grabs the location from Apple Maps, adds reminders, and even surfaces details from Safari and other Apple apps, so everything you need sits right there inside the event. Here's where things get clever. If you set a reminder like, "Can you find the latest photos of coffee in my library?"
Here are the latest photos of coffee from your library.
"Can you create a reminder in my Calendars app to send these 5 photos to Vishal at 10 p.m. today?"
I've added send these 5 photos to Vishal to your calendar for 10 p.m. today.
It is a small thing, but it saves you bouncing between 3 different Apple apps just to get one job. Here's a tip. Give your events simple, clear, and natural names. The more descriptive your wording, the better the app links everything together. A word of advice, this works best within the Apple ecosystem for now. If you live in the third-party apps, don't expect quite the same magic just yet. Alright, coming in at number 3 is the feature that I use every time I get into the car. It is the Apple CarPlay Overhaul. CarPlay has finally gotten an upgrade it deserved. The biggest one for me. So if you missed a line in the podcast or you just want to replay your favorite part of the song, you can jump right to the exact spot instead of skipping the whole track. It may sound simple, but it is the kind of thing that you don't realize you need it until you have it. CarPlay also picks up the liquid glass display that is tied to your iPhone, so everything feels a bit more modern and consistent. You also get widgets in Apple CarPlay, and here's a little extra fun one. In Google Maps, you can now change the color and even the model of your car icon. You should know that some of the updates are based on the apps that it is tied to. So give your favorite apps a quick refresh in the App Store to unlock everything. Alright, with this we are halfway down the list, and the next 2 items are the best features that iOS 27 has to offer in my opinion. So if you want more simple tips and tricks on iOS 27 or any other videos related to iOS or Apple ecosystem in general, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, ring the bell icon so that you don't miss my next video. Alright, coming in at number 2 is the Shortcuts app and the integration of AI into the Shortcuts app. So if you look at my video from the past, I'm a huge fan of the Shortcuts app, and with AI integration into the Shortcuts app, it has made it much easier to use. Now you do not have to manually create a shortcut. You can use AI and just tell what kind of shortcut you want it to create, and it will create the backend for you. Of course, you can edit it like you could do previously and make changes and tweak the model by itself. But as a starting point, it is a great way to get into shortcuts and kind of automate some of your day-to-day tasks with ease. So here in this example, I'm creating a shortcut to open the settings of whatever feature I'm looking into. So I'll just say that create a shortcut to open settings based on whatever page I am looking at, and it will basically create a shortcut for that. So what happens now is that, for example, if I'm looking into this app and I press the shortcut, it will take me into the settings of that particular app itself. And that is amazing, because if I want to change any settings or show you something, I can do it really quickly. And finally, my favorite feature of iOS 27 is the massive update to Siri, and they're calling it Siri AI. Now, I have genuinely waited years for, and I know most people also have, because Siri in the past was quite basic and had limited features. But now Siri is being backed by the Apple intelligence ecosystem, and it is much more powerful. You can have two-way conversations with Siri, and it can give you more intelligent responses, and it genuinely feels like a massive upgrade from what we had in the past. It feels like it has gone from being like a Magikarp all the way up to Gyarados overnight. And if you know Pokemon, you know what I'm saying. Even better, your conversations are now saved, so you can pick up right where you left instead of starting from scratch every single time. Under the hood, you get several AI models. You get the on-device Apple model, that's your local model. You also get private cloud compute, and then you also get ChatGPT model. Interestingly, there is another new version of private cloud compute, which is their Pro version, and it can be only accessed if you have got iCloud Plus subscription. What that means is that it can search the web, dig through the information inside your Apple apps, and give you far more natural and genuinely helpful answers. People have always criticized that Apple lacks a lot behind the Android competition in terms of features it has to offer. But with this upgrade, it feels like Apple has caught up to a 2025 version of Android. And to me, it feels like they have closed the gap. If you want to learn a bit more about the Apple's AI ecosystem, watch my video link up here somewhere, and it will take you to one of my videos that explains in simple language how Apple AI ecosystem actually works. All right, let's move on. With Siri AI, you should watch out for privacy, because Siri AI can link up with other Apple apps. So if you run a command, say that, what was my location 2 days ago, it will look into your wallet, it will look into your other Apple apps to determine what your location was 2 days ago. So if you are engaging in activities you shouldn't be, then watch out for this feature. So in this beta version, Siri still doesn't play nicely with non-Apple apps, and hopefully that will change soon. Honestly, Siri AI is the reason enough to update to iOS 27 if your device allows it, if you have storage. However, if there are any other features that you like more than the ones that I have mentioned, please do let me know in the comments below. I will be reading them and exploring these new features that I'm not aware of. Now, as I had mentioned, iOS 27 has got many other things going on. You've got a revamped passwords app, you've got a AirPods equalizer, you can also control the level of liquid glass display you want. With the new update, you also get backwards compatibility up to iPhone 11. However, some of the AI features will only be limited to iPhone 15, and I think that is amazing. They have rewritten their codes and reduced the file sizes of some of the operating system files by quite a lot. And to be honest, I think they have to do that because the Apple AI models are growing in size. so they have to compensate it somewhere, and I think that's a welcome upgrade. So does that change the performance? Let's look at the Geekbench score from iOS 26 and iOS 27 and see if there is an actual improvement. As you can see, between iOS 26 and 27, the performance for CPU and GPU goes up by up to 5%. And to me, that's a small win, but a much welcomed one. With visual intelligence, you can do a few more things. In photos, you get 2 more modes through visual intelligence, that is reframe and extend. With extend, you can zoom in or zoom out and AI will fill the missing details. The other one is reframe. With reframe, you can change the orientation and the angle of the photo. It works quite well if your image is an abstract or very simple. If it has a lot of details, it will do some mistakes here and there. And both these features are improving by the day. In the Photos app, now if you use visual intelligence, you can actually select your handwritten text and copy it into your chat, which is quite cool. Also with the Photos app, if you click a picture of something that you are eating or something that you want to eat, it will tell you in a slider scale the nutritional content of the food, which is quite cool. So yeah, it has given the Photos app a bit of a cute little update. Visual intelligence can be accessed by long pressing the camera button, or you can go into the camera app and you have got a Siri tab next to your Photos tab, and you press that and it will launch the Siri AI. These are genuinely cool features, and I might do a deeper dive into them in the future. But however, I do not use a lot of these products and applications in my day-to-day life, so they have not made it to my list. However, for some people, they might find it valuable. Okay, as promised, here's how to get iOS 27 on your iPhone. It is really simple. First, make sure that you have signed up with an Apple developer account, since this is a developer beta. Then just grab your iPhone, open settings, tap general, and go into the software update. From there, tap beta upgrades, choose iOS 27 and head back. Give it a moment and the update will pop up ready to download and install. Here's a tip. Back your phone up before upgrading to iOS 27. This is because if you want to go back to a stable iOS 26, you need to fully erase your iPhone. And there is no undo button. And that's it. You'll be running iOS 27 in no time. So those were the top 5 features that iOS 27 has to offer, in my opinion, ranked from the ones that I like to the ones that I absolutely love. From separate alarm volumes to the updated Siri AI. In my opinion, all of these features are bangers and a real step forward in right direction when it comes to the Apple ecosystem. Now I want to hear from you. Which feature you are most excited about, and is it a reason enough for you to update to iOS 27? If the video has helped you out or you have learned something from the video, smash that like button, ring the bell icon, drop a comment, because any engagement really helps. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.